This video is here to let you know that a completely brand new Minecraft game has been announced. It is known as Minecraft Legends and it is set to be released sometime in 2023. We're actually going to learn more about this game on Tuesday at the Xbox and Bethesda extended streaming event. I'm going to be making a follow-up video because after watching the streaming event I'll be combing through all the details and we'll make a video doing the deep dive on the details that were revealed, and of course we'll have fun speculating on what this game might behold. So make sure you're subscribed if you do want to catch that video and learn more about this game as we, the community, learn more about it. Now currently all there is to see is a 2-minute trailer. This was published on the Xbox channel, on the Minecraft channel, and also on the official Minecraft website, where there is additional information that I've read that I'm going to talk about in this video. So the game's story seems to pivot around this narrative that piglins have come from another dimension to invade the overworld, and that the mobs of the overworld will need to work together and unite to defend their dimension from these piglin invaders. According to the lore inside the game, the story actually takes place long ago in Minecraft's past, and that no evidence of what happens inside of this game remains in the current day. Only tales that have been passed down between generations of villagers. In the trailer, this is presented in the form of the villagers reading their books to one another, and you'll also notice that these villagers look quite different. This is probably a deliberate stylistic choice to make Legends feel more unique. You could also read into this as a hint that Minecraft has evolution in its history and that the mobs have changed over time, because along with the villagers, other mobs can be seen having bigger heads and smaller bodies in this game. And given that the overworld still exists today and piglins become zombified when entering the overworld dimension, do we already know who won this? Now, I also want to address that there have been a lot of fan theories recently about a new dimension. This was sparked by the ancient cities in the Wild update having that big portal frame made out of reinforced deep slate. In the trailer we get to see piglins coming through purple portals that look like the nether ones we're used to. However, there's no clear obsidian or even reinforced deep slate around them when they emerge out of the ground. The article on Minecraft.net does make it clear that the piglins are invading from the nether dimension. So all this speculation has led me to believe that maybe what we heard on the new record disc in the Wild update were these piglins themselves invading. That seems to fit the narrative of this game really well. This could also mean that the ancient cities that are a part of this Wild update are actually from this era of the game, being the portals that the piglins came through. It's kind of what you hear in that record disc. However, it did say that there were no traces in the world of this time other than the lore that had been passed down through the villagers. Now, if we think back to the record where you can hear the marching feet of invaders seemingly coming into a new dimension that's been lit after the sound of the flint and steel firing up a portal, what do you think? To me, it really does feel like the record and the ancient cities is linked to this new Minecraft Legends game. So now let's talk about what kind of game this is going to be. There's only so much that we can glean from the trailer itself, but it is described on the website as being an action strategy game that you will play from a third-person perspective, meaning the camera over the shoulder of the avatar experience. In the trailer we can see the player both building structures and commanding troops, and the goal is to defend your peaceful settlements from the piglin invaders and their nether corruption. You play in this game as a leader in defense, working with your allies from the overworld, and I believe this means that you play from the one side, the good side, which is the mobs of the overworld. Now, the game was developed by Blackbird Interactive and it's going to be available on Xbox, Xbox Game Pass, Windows, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation Stream, you name it. There's also this image that shows a mobile and iPad in as well, so this game is probably going to be playable pretty much everywhere. Now, I have some questions that will probably get answered on Tuesday. First of all, is it going to be multiplayer? It feels like this game would make itself known from the get-go if it was. I also don't want to see any kind of microtransactions and pay to win, so it'll be interesting to learn if anything close to that will be a part of it. And of course, I'd love to know which of the unique things to this game will be coming over to the main Minecraft. Given that this all took place in the past, I'm pretty sure that means they have the creative license to add stuff that never makes it into modern day Minecraft, right? Now, there are some interesting things in this trailer that I want to mention. First of all, the first part of the game has a little tagline at the bottom saying that it's cinematic, so you're not seeing the in-game footage. However, when we get further in, it shows pre-release gameplay footage that actually looks really quite similar, but sort of has black outlines, everything, and stylistically, I think this game does look pretty decent at first glance. Along with how the game looks, we do see a couple of interesting things. We see the Allay Mob, and also the yellow Allay Mob flying around with it. It pretty much looks the same except it's yellow. I don't think it is the key mob from Dungeons, although it's a similar sort of size. The interesting thing I noted is that you actually get to see the yellow Allay doing some auto building in this game. Maybe this is something we'll see in regular Minecraft in the future, probably not, but it would be cool to have a mob that helps you build, right? And speaking of the Allay, if you didn't know, there's going to be a way to duplicate, or air quotes, breed them in Minecraft 1.19.1. If you'd like to see the video where I covered that, there'll be a card in the top corner or a link in the description. And lastly, on details I noticed in this trailer, there are new mobs. This is probably pretty obvious, and we've only got a few instances to show you at the moment. It's definitely going to be cool learning about more mobs that once existed in Minecraft. Now, how about my own thoughts? I'm genuinely pretty excited. This game looks really cool. And when Microsoft brought Mojang under the condition of not being able to make Minecraft 2, this game and Dungeons is pretty much what was to be expected. Their strategy would be to extend the brand and create other games with it. And Legends is probably not going to be the last Minecraft edition game that gets made either. And immediately my mind turned to the recent poor reception that the Wild update has had from the community. I did a whole video explaining this situation, a possible solution, and the reason why I think this has happened. It's a good listen if you want to go and check it out. Again, in the top right there'll be a card or a link in the description. Because we see the Allay Mob in this trailer, and also the Piglins to a lesser extent because they're a few years old now, it makes me think that there are pressures on the development team to get things into the game that then become a part of the extended universe. So this game has probably been in development for a long time, maybe as far back as the Nether update because of the Piglins, right? And so a lot of the features we're seeing in the main game may be deliberately done to tie into these other games, and then that puts a lot of pressure on the developers to be able to reach the goals and the deadlines. Let's just consider that the Wild update came out a few weeks ago, maybe even not 2 weeks, and now we've got this one announced, and so perhaps the Allay had to be in that update so that it made sense when you see it in this game. Now, I have no problem with this approach to making the Minecraft universe and the games. However, I do worry about the pressures it puts on developers to meet timelines, especially when they have a community that can turn against them sometimes, as we recently saw. And maybe the real reason some of these features were cancelled, like the Birch Forest, were due to needing to get the other parts finished on time to meet the requirements for these other games. I don't know what happens behind the doors, but that's just something that I worry about when I see this kind of content. Anyway, I'm not trying to put a bummer on any of this. I think this new game looks fantastic. I'm excited to play it. We're going to learn more in a couple of days, so like I said at the beginning, make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you soon with that video. Bye-bye.